All right guys, welcome back to B-Roy's BBQ. If this is your first time here, be sure to subscribe and like the content and hit that bell so you will get notified on every video I release. Today, we are cooking some pulled pork. We're gonna make some pulled pork sliders. We're gonna do it on the offset Moberg smoker. We're gonna do it Texas style. We're only gonna be seasoning this pork shoulder with Lawry's and 16 mesh black pepper. So I hope you'll stay tuned to watch how this unfolds.
Welcome to B-Roy's BBQ, home of some of the truest barbecue methods in the great state of Texas. Here you'll find all your keys to grilling, smoking, and cooking up some of the best food on the block. So if you like the videos, please do me a favor and subscribe.
All right guys, so I've got my pork shoulder here. It is, I picked it up at HEB. It is, let's see, 7.5 pounds. They get pretty big. They can get up to like 10 or 12 pounds. I honestly wouldn't get one that large because you're gonna be smoking it forever. It's such a thick, dense piece of meat that you wanna average, I mean, it's probably gonna take a good hour per pound on the smoker. So like, just be mindful of that. Because again, you don't want to be cooking this like, I mean, this thing will take as long as a brisket if you let it, if you buy it one big enough. So what I'm doing here, I'm taking it out of the package. I'm gonna put some paper towels underneath so I don't make a huge mess. Hopefully not make a huge mess. So, and then all of this, let's take these paper towels, wad that up. Now, let's just kind of pat this thing dry a little bit, or drier, and then we're gonna trim it up just a little bit, not too much. It really doesn't require much trimming. The only thing, like if you see some of this fat hanging off here, just get rid of it. I mean, that's this stuff, but really we're not doing very much. We're just gonna take some of that off. If there's anything hanging here, get rid of that. But this one looks pretty good. Sometimes you'll find like a vein right here, and so I usually just take that out as well. But really requires minimal trimming. And then if you're gonna like cook this, or if you're gonna season it coming right out of the package, I mean, let's season it right now. So, got it here. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put pepper on it first. This is 16 mesh black pepper, and I can go pretty heavy with it. It's such a thick, dense piece of meat that you really cannot over season this. So I'm gonna go in and put my pepper on first. That's gonna build my bark. And then I'm gonna just hit it on all sides and do this first. I'll save the top for last, but like make sure you get your sides really good. And then after we put the pepper on, we're gonna come back with the Lawry's. And the reason I do that is because I can really see how much Lawry's, how much salt I'm putting on it, so I don't over season it. And like I said, pretty generous up here. You don't have to cover the whole thing, but that looks pretty good to me. Okay. So now we've got our Lawry's. Let's flip it back over. If you happen to be using a new bottle, I would take a little bit out because it will come out much easier if you take some of it, take some of the seasoning out. That looks pretty good. Again, we don't really have to be super careful with this. That's why I love cooking pulled pork, because it's so easy. It's really hard to mess up. All right, so when people ask me what when they want to get into barbecue, what they want to start out with, I tell them always go with the pork shoulder first because it's really hard to mess it up. So here's what we're looking like. We've got it fully seasoned up on all sides. Looking good, looking good. Now what we're gonna do is we're going to take some heavy duty foil and we're gonna wrap this thing up and put it in our fridge overnight because I'm not cooking it today. I'm gonna cook it tomorrow. So heavy duty foil, let's wrap this baby up. Nothing to it. That's all she wrote. I'll see you guys. I'll come back in a little bit. All right, guys, so we got the Moberg fired up. The fire's been going, I don't know, about 45 minutes. Let me show you. My initial setup for this cook is I have basically two 16-inch splits, one on this side, one on this side. I did some lump charcoal in the middle and I did a couple of 8-inch splits on top. You can see they're getting ready to drop anywhere between 275 and 300. If I was doing things today and I needed to cook it a lot quicker, then you could easily cook this at like 325, not a problem. But you can see here that I'm not in a big hurry today. It's kind of a leisurely Sunday when I'm doing this cook. So I've got a nice coal bed here and I've still got the edges of my wood here that hasn't really been touched. So what I'm gonna do, so that once I've got more air going, that thing is gonna spike up like that. So let me just move that real quick. And then we're gonna add another 8-inch split. Move that back there. We're gonna add another 8-inch split on top because right now I'm in the first hour of the cook and I want some really good smoke on the pork. And actually I'm gonna put it bark side down because that causes a lot of smoke. So I'm kind of gonna press it down like that, get us some nice smoke, and we will come back probably every 30-45 minutes, something like that, to to check our fire. It's a little hot right now, but it's fine. We're gonna close her down and I'll show you guys the pork. All right, guys, you can see I've got my ThermalWorks Smoke X4 working, 289 ring light so you guys can see what I'm doing. And let me just adjust this a little bit. I'll show you guys the pulled pork. Okay. So, like I said, it's been on a little less than an hour. It's looking really good so far. I mean, it's just starting to come up a little bit. I think I put it on, it was less than 40 degrees internal. But it's doing good. Just gotta let this baby ride. Yeah, I'll come back. All right, guys, we are at the 3-hour mark on this pork shoulder. It is looking amazing. Haven't spritzed it yet. Just checking my bark on top. Still nice, very moist. I'm not going to be spritzing it just yet. 3-hour mark, looking great. I am gonna be spritzing today with a 50-50 mixture of apple cider vinegar and water. But so far, it's looking great, and we'll come back. All right, y'all, this pork shoulder is 5 hours in. Let's give it a little spritz. Look at that color. 5 hours in at 275. We'll come back and check it in a little bit. All right, y'all, we are now at the 6.5 hour mark on this pork shoulder. Give it a little spritz. Let's check our temp. We should be getting pretty close to where it's time to wrap it. I'm gonna go right here, 167, right there in the very center. Let's go off to the side here. Definitely a lot further along, 180 off on the side here. Another thing that I haven't mentioned first or yet is that, so here's the money muscle over here. I've got it the furthest away from the fire as possible. I want to protect it as much as possible. So that is how we're looking. Maybe another 30 minutes and then we'll wrap it in foil and finish it up. But I mean, it's coming along nicely and it is looking great. All right guys, it's been 8 hours. It's time to wrap this pork shoulder out. First things first, I've got extra heavy duty aluminum foil from HEB. This is my favorite type of foil for barbecue. So I'm gonna take out 2 pieces, the length of my board, which is 30 inches. And just gonna eyeball it. There we go. Now, I'm gonna take my apple cider vinegar, wet the foil a little bit, and then here is my pork shoulder. I love putting them on these little baking racks because, oh man, look at that. Oh yeah, that is looking awesome. I'm actually gonna turn it this way because I want the bone facing this way. I just think it's gonna be easier to wrap like this. Just wrap her up. What I like to do is do the fold and tuck. We'll do the fold and tuck here, keeping track of my fat cap is on top here. So we're quarter turn, we're upside down now. We're back right side up. Try and press and get as much air out of that as possible. And then we're just gonna do the same thing here. Give it one more fold. And then we're just going back on the smoker. Same 270, 275 to finish it at. And we're looking for it to be very soft, very probe tender, probably in the 200 to 202 range. And it'll be done. So we're in the home stretch. So probably another hour or so. We'll check it and then it should be done. All right, y'all, the time has finally come. We're about 10 hours into this cook now, and it is time to pull this thing out and shred it up. So to keep this from being super messy, I'm gonna put it in this pan here, and then I'm gonna take all my drippings and I'm going to just pour it over the top. We don't want to lose those juices. Now the moment of truth. Let me turn this around so you guys can see the bone pull. This thing should pop right out. Like that. Comes right out. And then here we go. So here we go. Super tender, super delicious. Going to make some amazing sandwiches. Okay, over here is the money muscle. Let me show you guys these strands of pork here. Here it is right here. Look at that. That's what wins your barbecue competitions right there. Absolutely insane. it's still pretty hot. Okay, look at this. And I kind of like mine in like some larger chunks. I don't like to like pull it super fine. I like it in some larger chunks, like this. There's a clean bone right there. Let's set that off to the side. Okay, I think we are ready to make a couple of these sliders. So my awesome neighbor, she's quite the baker. She baked me some slider buns, homemade slider buns, and these are jalapeno cheddar, which I think is gonna go really great with this pulled pork. So let's go ahead and make some of these sliders. Do this, do this, do this. All right. So we're gonna start by placing some of our amazing pork right there. Enough to where we can't tell where one sandwich stops and one sandwich starts. My goodness, this looks amazing and it smells unbelievable. I think that's probably a good stopping point, at least for these 6. Next thing I'm gonna do is I've got kind of a sweet vinegary sauce here that I'm just gonna spoon over all of them. And then finally, we've got some creamy slaw that we're gonna finish these with. Just a nice little dollop of slaw on each of them. Now, man, I can't wait to try these homemade slider buns, jalapeno cheddar slider buns. And there we have it. Look at that. That really is incredible. What do y'all think about that?